In the last two videos regarding CSAT, I discussed two things. First is how you should start preparing for CSAT in the month of November and December, and how you should divide your preparation in three stages. First is we will discuss one very important thing regarding CSAT, how you can use PYQs. Repeated logics can lead us to the questions or themes which are repeated almost every year. There are 4 steps which you should use to analyze the PYQs. Once you have recognized the pattern and you are solving problems again and again, you should track your time so that you can use the extra time which is left for on solving 100 questions. You have to solve 100, right? But if you find 10 logics. Hello everyone, welcome to PW OnlyIAS. I hope all of you are doing great and your preparation is going in the right direction. In the last two videos regarding CSAT, I discussed two things. First is how you should start preparing for CSAT in the month of November and December, and how you should divide your preparation in 3 stages. First is when you develop your concept. Second is when you practice questions, and third is when you evaluate using the test. And the second video was regarding the myths and lies you should stay away from, because some of those lies and myths can create fear in some students' mind, right? So you should avoid those and you should start your preparation well ahead before the prelims. Today, we will discuss one very important thing regarding CSAT, how you can use PYQs to get good marks, right? How you can identify some questions which are repeated almost every year, okay? Now, how to do that, right? First thing we should do is recognize the patterns which are repeated almost every year, okay? One thing I say always is CSAT repeats logic, not language. Why? Because you won't find questions which came before in the next year paper, but you will find the logic repeated almost every year. So what we should focus is on the repeated logics, right? Repeated logics. Now repeated logics can lead us to the questions or themes which are repeated almost every year. And I will try that at the end of this video, you can get at least 20 sets of questions which have very high probability of repeating next year in 2026. If your attempt is in 2027, it can repeat there also, right? So what we will try to do is, we will analyze the PYQs, we will see the logics which are repeated almost every year, and we will have, at the end of the video, we will have at least 20 sets of questions which are very important pertaining to CSAT, okay? So one thing you should know is every year UPSC questions have similar logics, but the difference can be in language or in the numbers used in the questions, right? Now, how can this help you? Okay, if you first recognize the pattern, okay, you can practice questions pertaining to these patterns. You can increase your speed in the paper because you know how a specific logic question is solved. By using this, you can increase your accuracy, and in the end, all this leads to better confidence regarding to CSAT. Okay, so this is what we will try to do is, we will try to find the pattern. Okay, at least we will try to find patterns in 20 questions from all these sections, okay, from logical reasoning, from quant, and from reading comprehension. Now, how to do this? How to do this? There are 4 steps which you should use to analyze the PYQs. First one is the logic, right? Repeated logic. You should try to find the repeated logics every year. This means you should try to find the same type of question which can be solved by using the same logic, right? Time yourself by solving. Once you have recognized the pattern and you are solving problems again and again, you should track your time so that you can use the extra time which is left for solving new type of questions which you will face in every year's CSAT paper. So this will increase your accuracy, and this will decrease your time taken per questions. Okay, please mind, repeated logic doesn't mean the question will be exactly same. If there are any traps or twists, you should give extra attention to those. After that, develop a revision cycle. Every revision cycle should start with what? Repeated pattern questions. Okay, this will boost your confidence that at least you will be able to solve these many questions which are asked every year. And I will tell you through examples that there are some questions which are almost repeated every year. There are questions in series which came in 20, 21, 22, 23 and 25 almost every year. Now what are the things you should avoid? First thing is, while solving PYQs or analyzing PYQs, you should not focus only on solving, right? You should analyze and find patterns between questions. This is very important. Okay? Because on solving 100 questions, you have to solve 100, right? But if you find 10 logics for every 10th set of question, then you only have to remember those 10 logics to solve those 100 questions. So this reduces your effort, reduces the time you need for CSAT and improves your accuracy, right? Second thing, ignoring repeated patterns. You should not ignore the repeated patterns. You should not ignore the repeated questions which you get every year. You should first start attempting those questions which have very high probability of coming next year. Okay, and there is no revision cycles. Once you recognize the pattern, you have to practice, right? You have to revise. So this should be your habit. You should first analyze the PYQs. You should find out what are the important questions, and then you should practice those questions. And after a while, you should revise those questions. Okay. So don't just attempt the PYQs. Study their pattern. This is very important. Once you recognize the pattern, the whole syllabus reduces to limited number of questions. So you should try to find pattern and avoid a situation where you are not recognizing the pattern of questions coming every year. Okay. Before moving to how to identify the questions, let's talk about the Pinnacle batch. So this is our 2-year pure English batch. Okay. So in this you get classes, you get GS classes, you get your CSAT classes, you get mains answer writing, right? Current affair classes. Along with these, you get the DMPs, the DPPs, daily practice problems, main problems, and the current affair modules, and many more free articles, right? So if you are interested, you can find the details in the description and you can enroll. Now, before moving to the analysis, what will be your focus for the next 30 minutes? You have to spot the pattern. This is your task. I will show you questions which are similar on the screen. What you have to do is find the pattern which is repeating every year. Can you recognize the pattern? This is the main question from every slide from now onwards. Okay. Look at these questions from maths, reasoning and RC. We will analyze questions, PYQs from all the 3 sections. Different year, you will see different year there is same topic and same concept used in many types of questions. Okay. Before moving to the questions, let's see the distribution of PYQs. If you divide your CSAT into 3 sections, quant, logical reasoning and reading comprehension, you can see majority of the questions are coming from quant, right? Then you have logical reasoning. But the advantage here is the questions from logical reasoning are very easy. If you are able to solve at least 8 to 10 questions from logical reasoning, and if you are able to solve at least easy questions from RC, that means 16 to 80 questions, 18 questions, and here 10 to 12 questions, almost you can get to 27, 28 questions from logical reasoning and reading comprehension, where you have only solved the easier questions. Apart from these, then you will need only 10 to 15 questions from quant to get through, right? So this is the distribution. You should know that most of the questions are coming from quant, then reading comprehension, and then logical reasoning. Now within logical reasoning also there are some very important topics. Within logical reasoning, you can see there are important topics. If you see logical series, every year you are getting 5, 3, 3, 3, 4 questions. Coding, decoding 2, 1, 3, 5, 3. So these are very important topics from logical reasoning. So within logical reasoning, there are questions which are repeating. So we will look at those, right? First of all, you should note down what are the important topics from logical reasoning. If you are preparing for CSAT 26-27, at least you should do these many topics, and you should start preparing these topics first and then move to the remaining topics like sitting arrangement, ranking, blood relation, age-based problems, Venn diagram, syllogs, right? Analytical ability. You can do all those also, but you should start your preparation with these 5 and 6 topics. Now let's first move to this, right? Now let's start seeing the pattern. Okay, if you see, these are questions from logical series and these are series based on alphabets. Now question came in 25, then you can see 24, then 23, then 21, then 19, then 20. Every year the same type of question is repeating, where you have a series with empty places and you need to find which alphabets you should fill to get the answer. And all these questions are solved by a single logic. What you can do is take option A, place all these 4 alphabets here, check if there is a pattern or not. Second, take option B, place all these 4 alphabets here and check if the pattern is followed or not, right? And you can do these questions very easily in manual pattern also. You don't have to know how to solve these questions by some method, right? So you can see every year 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, every year this question is repeating from logical series. So this is our first set of question. First set of question, very important question, is from logical series and that too alphabetical series. Let's move to the second set. This is our second set of very important question and these are from coding and decoding. What are these types of questions? Every year they will give you code for some alphabets. Suppose ABCD is coded as 24, EFGS is coded as 61680. They will ask you IJKL is written as what code? All these questions are related to positional value of alphabets. Position value of alphabet, one single logic. So when you go forward, A is coded as 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4 and so on. And now if you know the positional value of all the alphabets, you will be able to solve all these questions, because you can change ABCD with next year suppose 0. You can change EFGH with CHUR, but the logic to solve these questions remains same. And that's why this is very important. If you recognize this pattern, if you know how to solve any one of these questions, you will be able to solve the next 6, right? Also, you can see this question came in 24, 20, 21, 23, 22, 20, and here in 2025 as well. So almost every year these questions are repeating. So you can expect in 26 and 27, you can get similar types of question. This is our second set. Let's move to the third very important topic from reasoning is clock. Third set of questions. Right? Now if you see, all these questions in 24, 21 and 22 are related to the angle between the hands of the clock, that is the hour hand and the minute hand. In each of these questions, you have to find the angle between the hands of the clock at 4:25. Here between 7 to 8, when will they coincide? They are asking again a angle based question. Again here between 3:16 and 3:17, both the hour hand and the minute hand coincide. This question is again from angle between the hands of the clock. So this is very important third set, where you can expect next year also you can get a question where at any position at any time you can be asked to calculate the angle between the hands of the clock. Let's move to the fourth set from logical reasoning. Now fourth set is calendar. Fourth set is your calendar. If you see, every year you are getting what sort of questions? On this day, what is the day? Right? This calendar repeats after how many times? This calendar repeats after how many times? On this day, what is the, on this day, what is the date? On this date, what is the day? Right? All sorts of questions. On this date, if this is the day, what will be the day on the second or third reference dates, right? Again, this is a series based questions. Again, 10th of October, you just need to find the day. So there are only two types of questions, two logics used. Date to day, right? And date to date, reference date to new date. And you need to find day on this date and day on this date. Only these two logics are used to frame the questions. Here also, you can see the question came in 25. The question came in 23, question came in 22, question came in 20, question came in 24, 19 and also in 2021. almost you can solve all the questions related to calendar based on two logics, right? Let's move to the next fifth set of very important problems, right? In direction and distance. First, see what is the final direction, what is the final direction, what is the final direction, what is the final direction. Direction based questions. Okay, next set of questions are what is the final distance, distance. So there are only two logics which are repeated, and you can see the topic is very important. Why? Because you have a question from 24, 21, 24, 20, 22, 25 and also in 2021. We have covered logical series, coding and decoding, clock, calendar and direction and distance. These are very important topics from logical reasoning. Last important topic which I need to discuss is cubes and dice. You have question in 24, 23, 23. Okay, there is a question in 25. All these questions are related to cube cutting. If you paint a cube, big cube from all the sides and cut it into small cubes, how you can find the pieces with 3 colored side, with 2 colored side, with 1 colored side, with 0 colored side. All these questions are related, and you can see the question is repeating every year almost 24, 23, 25 and 23. So there are 6 very important topics from logical reasoning, and there are 6 set of questions which I have shown you from logical reasoning. First was logical series, second was coding decoding, then we move to calendar, clock, direction distance and cubes and dice. These are very important topics from logical reasoning. Now let's move to the second, quantitative aptitude. Similar to logical reasoning, there are very important topics from quantitative aptitude. What are the important topics? The most important topic is number system. Within number system, remainder, unit digit and divisibility. I will show you why I am writing only these 3 subsets of number system through questions. Another important topic is LCM, HCF, average, percentage, ratio mixture, time and work, permutation and combination, progression and data sufficiency. If you analyze all these PYQs, you will find that within number system, specifically remainder, same type of questions are repeating every year. If you know how to find the remainder in different cases, you will be able to solve the remainder question coming next year or the year after that. Let's now see questions. Okay, so in number system, if you see remainder questions, every year you are getting remainder question, almost 22, 23, 23, 23, 24, 24, right? What is the question? Find the remainder when this is divided by, right? This is divisibility. Okay, so you are getting questions based on divisibility. What, how this number is divisible by which of the following numbers? Again, this is divisible by which of the following numbers? For any choice of value of x, y, z, this is divisible by what numbers? A number n is found by repeating 999 times. What is the remainder when n is divided by 13? Let x be a positive integers. How many possible value of x? That also comes through divisibility rules. This again is solved by divisibility rules. If you know the divisibility rules, you can solve all these questions very easily. Similar to divisibility, if you see remainder, right? This was our 7th set of questions. Okay, this is our 8th set of questions. If you see remainder every year, this is 2025. We have two questions from remainder in 2025. Then we had a question from remainder in 24, 23, 23, 23, 23, 22, 21. Almost every year you are getting 2 questions from remainder only, a subset of number system, right? In each of the question, what you need to do is just find the remainder when a multiple is divided by a given number. When 85, 87, 89, 91 is divided by 100. Right. Similarly, when 2 to the power 192 is divided by 6. So if you know what's the logic to find the remainder, you will be able to solve all these questions. Let's move to the next set. ninth set. And what you can do is you can pause this video. You can look at the question slowly, right? I can give it. Best method is stop the video here, analyze these 4 questions, and you will be able to see that all the questions are related to a same logic. See, in this case, unit digit question. In each of these questions, unit digit is asked. What is the unit digit? What is the unit digit? What is the rightmost digit? That means unit digit. Here also the question is related to unit digit. Now, if you know in unit digit question, you should focus only on the units digit. You will be able to solve all these questions. There are different patterns which you need to know to solve these questions, right? So in number system also, there are some subtopics which are very important. First one is divisibility. Second is remainder. Third one is unit digit. And there are more, right? So there can be more. I am not saying that in number system only these patterns are there. What I am trying to do is tell you how you should approach CSAT and how you should analyze PYQs to find these patterns. What I have done is I have found out 20 patterns which I am sharing with you, right? 9th ho gaya. Then we will move to the next. You have seen percentage questions, right? 10th set of questions. In each of these questions, the question is almost checking if you can calculate the percentage change. Percentage change. What is percentage change? Final value minus initial value upon initial value into 100. This is the percentage change. Now, the percentage change can be asked in different ways, right? In 24, they compared PQR, right? And they asked the how is one is more than the other. Another same type of question in 24. Then in 24, a number is mistakenly divided. What is the percentage error, right? If we increase the price of certain commodity by this and sell it, what is the profit percentage, right? All these questions are related to this percentage change only. If you see, the question came in 20, 21, 21, 21, 24, 24, 24, 22. If you pause this video and read these questions slowly, you will identify that all the questions are related to same type of logic which will be used to solve these questions. Okay, that is why percentage is very important. Because you can get similar type of question which was asked before, and you can use the same logic which you understand in classes, right, to solve these questions. Let's move to the next set of questions. 11th set. What is this? Based on average. What is average? If there are 3 people X, Y, Z and their weights are X, Y and Z, what is the average weight of these 3 people? Average weight is X plus Y plus Z minus 3. Now this is the basics, right? Now what are the iterations possible? They can say when you were calculating the average before, in place of Z, you took some wrong value and your average came out to be lower than the expected, right? So what is the correct value of Z? These questions can be asked. So if you know that is the basic, right? And what is the logic used to solve those questions? You can solve any questions which is asked from average, right? In this question also, average weight of the student, average score, right? Again, what is the average score, average weight? All these questions will be solved by using the same logic, that average is nothing but sum of all the observations upon all the total number of observations. That is the basics. You need to know this and you will be able to solve all the different types of questions. Okay. Next is time and work. Time and work, you need to know 2 things, right? One man's work into D1 equals to, suppose 7 men can complete the work in 10 days, 70. So 14 men can complete the work in 5 days. First type of question are done by this. If you change number of men here, you will get number of men here different. If you change the days, you will get different days. And this amounts to total work. This is the first concept. Second concept is the LCM method to solve efficiency problems. What are efficiency? Suppose a father and a son are working on a project, the father is twice as efficient as his son. That means if the son is doing 1 unit of work in 1 day, the father will do 2 units of work in 2 days. Right? So in such questions where efficiency problems are there, we need to know what is the LCM method to solve these questions. And if you know these two logics to solve the time and work question, you can solve all the questions. Why it is important? You can see the question came in 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24, 24. All these questions are related to only these two logics. Right? That is why it is very important. Right? After that, we have seen most of the important topics from quant as well. Last one is one type of question. 13th set of question is data sufficiency. Now data sufficiency is not some topic like time and work, time, speed, distance, profit and loss, but a type of specific question, right? In this they check if you are able to find out if how much information you will need to answer this given question. And it is very, very important. If you look at this table, you can see for the last 5 years you are getting, in 21 you got 3 questions from data sufficiency, in 22 7, 23 6, 24 11, and in 25 you got 5 questions. Every year you are getting from 5 to 10 questions from data sufficiency, and that's why it is very important. You should know how to approach data sufficiency questions. Let me tell you how to solve questions from data sufficiency now. Right? So data sufficiency questions are very easy. What you need to do is first identify what the question is asking. Suppose here it is asking us what are the values of m and n, where m and n are natural numbers. Now we need to answer uniquely to this question. Uniquely means we should get only one solution while using all these data. What you will do is you will start with the first statement and you will check if the first statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. Right? If it is alone sufficient to answer the question, then you will move to the second statement and you will check now if you can answer this question only by using statement 2. If you are able to answer the question by using statement 2 also, then your answer is the question can be answered by using statement 1 and 2 alone. If you find out a case where none of the statement is enough to answer the question, what you will do is you will club these two statements and then try to answer the question. If you get a unique answer for the given question by using both the statement together, your option becomes the question can be answered by using both the statements together but cannot be answered by using either statement alone. Even after using the two statements you are not able to answer the question, then your option becomes the question cannot be answered even by using both the statements together. Now within data sufficiency, they can ask you questions from quant, they can ask you questions from reasoning, and any of the quant and any of the reasoning topics. What you should know is how to approach these questions. You need to first check the statement 1 alone, then statement 2 alone, and if there is a need, then only you will combine the information given in statement 1 and 2. This is the most ideal way how you should approach data sufficiency questions, right? So we have seen important topics from logical reasoning. We have seen important topics from quant. Within important topics, you have seen specific type of problems which have high probability of repeating, right? We have seen topic sets of questions from logical series. We have seen from calendar, clock, direction, coding, decoding, cubes and dice. In quant, we have seen from number system. Within number system, we have seen remainder, divisibility, unit digit, then percentage, average, LCM, HCF, data sufficiency, time and work, right? All these are very important topics. Okay. Now we will move to the third most easy. Which one is reading comprehension? Every year you are getting 27, 27, 27, 27, 29 questions from reading comprehension. Now within reading comprehension, the questions are divided into 5 or 6 types. What are those types? Message based questions, inference based questions, assumption based questions, crux based questions, info fetching questions, and your implication based questions. Now within these, if you see the distribution of these questions, there are some sets which are very important. If you see assumption, every year you are getting 13 questions from assumption, 11, 7, 9 and 11. Another important is message based questions. Now what are the logics which relate these questions together, right? So whenever you are asked what is the message of the passage, you should know that you need to find message of the passage is nothing but the title of the passage. What is the best statement given in the four options which you can use as the title of the passage? That is the answer for your message based questions. Next, crux. What is the main argument discussed in the passage? Is your answer for the crux. Similarly, implications are possible effects, consequences and outcomes. These are the logics which connect. Logic which is used to answer these questions. These are the logics you need to remember. Last one is, second last is inference. Inference are nothing but the logical conclusions. And last one is assumption. Assumptions are unstated beliefs that support the arguments of the passage. So whenever you see message in the questions, your mind should click that you should find what is the suitable title for the message. Whenever crux is asked, you should think of, I should get the main argument that is discussed in the passage. Implication question is asked, your mind should focus on, you should find the possible consequences of the given information in the passage. In case of inferences, you should find out the logical conclusion from the information given in the passage. And in assumptions, your aim should be find out the unstated beliefs on which the author has made any argument or decision in the given information in the passage. While solving all these, stick only to the info given in the passage. Right? You should avoid your GS biases and your personal opinions while solving reading comprehension. That is very, 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 very important. Okay. So you can see we have seen 13. This is the 14th set, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, right? If you extend the list, you will find out there are 30-40 important patterns. Today in this video, I was able to cover only 18. If you want, and if you want more sets which are repeating every year, you can comment and tell us. I will surely make another video where we can discuss other patterns which are repeating every year in CSAT, right? So now onwards, once you know that in PYQs, there are very important topics. First of all, subjects. Quant is coming. Almost 50% of the paper is quant. Then the most important section is reading comprehension, and then logical reasoning. Within these topics, some chapters are very important, and within those chapters, some subsets, some questions are very important, which are coming every year, right? So from now onwards, whenever you are solving questions, your habit should be track the logic. Always try to find if questions are using the same logic. If yes, you can club those questions together and you can practice those questions together. If you were initially solving 10, 12, 30 questions, now you only have to solve 2-3 questions of the specific logic and you are good to go. Okay. Time each question set. Once you have found out the pattern, right? Practice regularly, right? Do two things. Accuracy should increase and time should decrease, right? With time, if you are able to recognize these patterns and solve the questions quicker, your accuracy should increase and time should decrease. After a point, right? Revise, because these are important questions. You should revise them regularly, so that you are confident while attempting the full length test or your final prelims paper. Okay. In short, consistency beats complexity always, right? If you are consistent with this habit, you will beat the complexity and you will find out what the CSAT paper is all about. Okay. Right. So your CSAT repetition journal starts today. What you need to do is 2 things. First of all, start noting every repeated logic and pattern. This is very, 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 very important, right? Especially those students who fear CSAT. First of all, what you should do is figure out these questions. Most of them I have done for you today in this video. Practice these questions first. So what will happen is, whenever you will try to give sectional test or FLT test, you will find those questions there also, and you will be able to solve at least some portion of the paper, right? That is very important for your confidence going into prelims 2026, right? Build your personal repetition journal. If you find any pattern or question type is repeating again and again, you should note down those in your copies and revise those again and again, right? Okay. So basically, all I wanted to say in simple 3 phases is, first of all, recognize the pattern, right? Once you recognize the pattern, practice the pattern smartly by timing your speed of solving these questions, by revising these questions again and again, and that will surely give you success, right? This will lead you to a better results. You will feel more confident while solving questions, and that's what you need, right? You need confidence in CSAT. If you fear CSAT, this is the way you should go. Okay, right? If there are any doubts you want to ask, what are the more sets of questions which we can see in PYQ analysis, you can connect with me here. You can ask me any doubts regarding quant, logical reasoning, reading comprehension, any of the section related to CSAT. I will bring more and more content for you regarding CSAT and more topics. If you have any doubt, please reach out, right? Try to find out patterns on your own. And if you want me to make a video where we discuss more patterns, I will do that surely for you, right? So please comment and tell us what you need regarding CSAT, and we'll surely bring more content for you. Okay? Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.